it is important to set your project as you start a new project. Then it helps you to centralize all your assets for the project, and you won't be confused with the location of the assets that you have. In order to set your project, the first step is to go to File, and you see the project window option. Click on that one. So basically it has a location for the path that you create your project. So I'm gonna like create a new, it has the default, but I'm gonna create a new. So this is the directory that I'm gonna do it, and select it. And you see it shows the location is users, Roya, desktop, Maya. And I can put the modeling one. I accept it. And after that, I need to, when I click on the file project window, after that, I need to set the project. So I will go, as you can see, it shows the modeling one, and I click on it, and I set my project into that directory. So if I go back, to my desktop and I click on Maya, you can see all related assets for this project, which is modeling one. It's gonna be inside that folder on my desktop. So it's really important to pay attention to set your project before you start working on every single project that you want to do. Before we start the modeling, let's talk about creating a hierarchy. So right now you see I have two components or objects in my outliner, the blue and the yellow, and I'm gonna like rename them. There are two different ways to define creating hierarchy. One is creating a groups, and the other one is the parent and child. Basically, the creating group, it means like you get different, at least two components, two different objects, which I can like select them together, or I can hold the shift and select different components that I have. Right now I have only two components, and I'm going to show it these two. In order to create a group, you go to the edit and group, and you can see there is option for ungroup too, or the short key is that command or control G. So if I do it, you see it puts like a group one for me, which I can rename it later too. And there is a plus sign. When I click on it, it shows the blue and yellow under that category. So basically grouping is helpful when you start to do your 3D modeling project, and you have like, for example, you are creating a character, and that character has head, has hand, has like torso, has like foot. There are different components or part of your 3D model, which you develop it over time, not all of them at the same time. And later, in general, you do it in different um, steps, because for example, later when you want to animate your hand, you want the hand to be like a different model than the torso, in order to not, you can attach them together, but they are not like one combined model, and later you can like move the hand or for other part of the body. So but everything, imagine it's like one character, and your character is like inside a house, which is like a one bigger group of like models that you have. In order to separate your character from your house, for example, is that to, when you're done with your modeling, for the parts that you don't want to be confused, you can just like group them together in order to separate them in your outliner, which is really important. You don't want to be confused with the component of your house and the component of the character that you create. Even on under one group you can have like different subgroups as well. For example, you have one group that creates your character, but also inside that group you have one group which is related to head, which is like the face, the eyes, like the ear, the mouth, all of them is like under one group. Or you have like a group of two hands, group of two legs. So it's like pretty straightforward and you understand the concept of the grouping. When you basically in your outliner, if you click on like every single component or like object, you just like select that one. So right now you can see it's like a group. So take a look at my outliner, there is nothing selected. If I select the blue sphere, only the blue sphere is selected, but at the same time you can see the group 1 highlighted in the outliner. It means like I selected something part of the group 1, and when I open it you can see it's like the blue one selected. So they don't have any interfere with each other. And but if I want to select the whole group, instead of like selecting both of them together, I can just like go and select the group and it select both of them. So this is the whole idea of the grouping. But also there is something it's called like parenting and child, which is a different thing. If I do Command C, so right now I have these two. Basically, so for the parenting, some layers will be parent of the others. So if you make any changes to the parent, it will affect the child's as well. Child won't affect the parent, but parent will affect the child. In order to create a child and parenting, so you have to select your child. In this case, I want to make the blue one child of the yellow one. So if I select the child first, you won't select the parent first. You first select the child. And then with the middle mouse click and drag it to the layer which is gonna be the parent, you create that hierarchy. So I'm gonna do the middle mouse click and drag it to yellow. And as you can see, it again created that like plus sign and that hierarchy. But right now it doesn't show like the previous one. It doesn't show any group or something. It just like shows the yellow. And if I select basically the yellow, it select both of them because yellow is parent of the blue one. So any change that I make, I'm gonna like affect the child as well. So you can see I change the scale of the yellow and the scale of the child is changing too. So if I select the blue one, basically I am selecting just the child, and if I make it bigger or smaller, it doesn't affect my parent. So it's really important to understand the concept, the difference between parent versus like the child.